Every morning, millions of seniors reach instinctively for their familiar breakfast, a slice of white bread or a bowl of sugary cereal, seemingly harmless and comforting. They believe this simple routine is a gentle start to the day, unaware that within just 20 minutes, these foods trigger a chain reaction that silently damages their most vital arteries. When they consume these carbohydrates, their blood sugar levels rapidly spike, in some cases rising from normal to dangerously high within 15 to 20 minutes. This sudden surge creates an inflammatory response inside the vascular system, but it's hidden behind the facade of an ordinary meal. The body reacts as if under attack, and immune cells begin to cross the delicate lining of the blood vessels, causing microscopic tears and breaches in the endothelial walls. These tears are barely perceptible, but they are the first step in an invisible invasion. Over the course of several months and years, these tiny injuries attract cholesterol deposits and cellular debris, which cling stubbornly to the damaged areas. Fatty plaques start to form, layer by layer, thickening and calcifying along the arterial walls like slow-moving buildup of deadly scum. These plaques are inert initially, but become dangerously unstable as they enlarge. The process is silent, often with no noticeable symptoms until the damage reaches a tipping point. As the plaques continue growing, the arteries gradually become narrower, sometimes reducing their diameter by 50% or more. Blood flow to critical organs such as the heart and brain diminishes, depriving them of oxygen and essential nutrients. Most seniors experience no warning signals because the body adapts for a long time, quietly suffering in the background. Roaring arteries, which once carried a robust flow of blood, become constricted and rigid. The risk escalates sharply at this stage because an even minor insult, a sudden emotional stress, physical exertion, or an acute spike in blood pressure can trigger the next phase. The thick, fragile plaques become prone to rupture under pressure, exposing their inner core of cellular debris and cholesterol. When a vulnerable plaque bursts open, it creates a rough injury inside the artery. The body perceives this break as a threat and rushes to seal it off with a blood clot. This clot forms silently within a matter of seconds, often going unnoticed until it reaches a size capable of completely blocking the artery. The closure happens so rapidly that victims may experience no warning symptoms, only a sudden, severe pain like crushing chest discomfort or paralysis on one side. In a shocking turn, the blood clot seals the artery like a death trap, cutting off blood supply instantly. This is the moment when a heart attack or stroke is unleashed, striking without prior pain or warning signs. The damage from the initial injury, compounded by the rapid clot formation, leaves no time for intervention. The artery is virtually sealed shut in seconds, depriving the vital tissue of oxygen. The brain or heart tissue begins to die just moments later. It's a tragedy unfolding inside the unseen corridors of the body, with destruction occurring faster than anyone could expect. The false comfort of a seemingly harmless breakfast has transformed into a ticking time bomb, silently gnawing away at the arteries and silently setting the stage for impending disaster. The progression from a simple blood sugar spike to a fatal arterial blockage is a process that can occur over years or even decades, yet culminate in a matter of seconds. The vivid reality is that many seniors endure years of slow arterial damage only to be struck down suddenly in their daily routines, with the body overwhelmed and unprepared for such an abrupt collapse. What happened next was even more alarming. The fragile plaques that had been quietly accumulating inside the arteries suddenly became unstable, transforming from a dormant threat into a deadly, ticking time bomb. Under continuous stress from blood flow pressure or minor emotional shocks like anger or fear, these vulnerable plaques could rupture at any moment. When one finally gave way, it released a flood of cellular debris, cholesterol, and blood components into the bloodstream, unleashing an internal disaster in motion. This rupture exposed the inner core of the plaque to the circulating blood, which recognized it as a rupture, triggering the body's defense mechanisms to respond swiftly. Blood vessels sensed the injury and rushed to the scene, rapidly forming a blood clot at the rupture site, aiming to seal the breach and prevent hemorrhage. But in the narrow and already damaged arteries, this process swiftly spiraled toward catastrophe. The clot, often only a few millimeters in size initially, began to grow rapidly in seconds as the body's natural coagulation system overreacted in an attempt to heal the injury. Within as little as 30 seconds to a minute, the clot could reach a size large enough to completely block the artery. This sudden, complete blockage prevents vital, oxygen-rich blood from reaching the heart muscle or the brain. The moment the artery seals shut, the real nightmare begins. Without oxygen, tissue begins to die almost immediately. Brain cells begin succumbing within 4 to 6 minutes, often causing irreversible damage, leading to stroke symptoms like paralysis or speech difficulties. The heart, cut off from oxygen, starts to suffer irreversible damage within just 20 minutes, resulting in a full-blown heart attack. Since the clot formation occurs so swiftly, the victim often experiences no warning signs before the crisis hits. No chest pain, no warning to prepare. The blockage happens silently, and the victim might initially feel only a vague sensation of discomfort, quickly escalating to crushing pain, paralysis, or sudden loss of consciousness. Families are left helpless, watching as their loved ones collapse suddenly without any prior indication. In the span of seconds to a couple of minutes, the internal clot fully seals the artery, leaving no room for blood to circulate. The buildup of oxygen deprivation causes the tissue beyond the blockage to die rapidly. The entire process from plaque rupture to complete artery sealing is designed by nature to happen at astonishing speed, often within a minute or two. The body's response, though protective initially, becomes a deadly trap when the clot grows unchecked. The victim's body is overwhelmed, and the sudden loss of blood flow leads to irreversible damage and, in many cases, death. This swift sequence from an unstable plaque to a blocked artery illustrates how a minor daily event, a small vessel tear or pressure spike, can escalate into an acute, life-threatening episode. All of this can occur in under 3 minutes, catching the victim unprepared. The silent formation of the clot, unnoticeable at first, rapidly expands until it occludes the artery entirely. As oxygen deprivation intensifies, tissues begin to die in a matter of minutes, leading to catastrophic organ failure unless emergency intervention occurs immediately. The most terrifying aspect of this hidden threat is how these blood clots can form silently and stealthily inside the arteries over months or even years, long after the initial damage has begun. For many seniors, this process remains completely unnoticed until it suddenly reaches a tipping point and collapses into catastrophic failure. Imagine the silent buildup of damage, a slow and insidious process that might start with minor plaque accumulation at an irreversible rate of about 2 to 5% per year, but over decades becomes a lethal supply of potential killers lurking quietly within the vessels. These clots can develop gradually, or, more alarmingly, emerge suddenly when the fragile plaques rupture, exposing their inner core of cholesterol and cellular debris. When this rupture occurs, the body's natural response is to rapidly form a blood clot, which seeks to seal the injury. This clot can grow rapidly, increasing in size by approximately 0.2 millimeters every 30 seconds in some cases, until it completely occludes the artery. The formation process is so quick that within 30 seconds to a minute, a clot can reach a few millimeters in diameter, enough to block the flow of vital oxygenated blood. The outcome is often instantaneous death or irreversible brain and heart damage, occurring in less than 5 minutes from the initial rupture if not immediately treated. For many, these clots develop without any warning signs or symptoms, making their deadly inevitability even more frightening. The sudden occlusion cuts off blood supply to the brain or the heart in an instant, leading to a stroke or heart attack that often leaves loved ones helpless. The tissues beyond the blockage begin to die within 4 to 6 minutes in the brain, resulting in paralysis or speech loss, and within 20 minutes in the heart, causing severe tissue death and full heart failure. This rapid progression from silent buildup to lethal event is a horrifying reality, exemplifying how a small, seemingly harmless daily habit can set off this chain of destruction without warning. Medical examiners performing autopsies repeatedly find this pattern. In nearly 9 out of 10 cases of sudden, unexpected death among elderly individuals, the culprit is a massive blood clot originating from inflamed arteries affected by years of poor dietary choices. The autopsies reveal that these deadly clots are often composed of startlingly large and friable thrombi, reaching 20 or more millimeters in length, lodged in critical locations such as the coronary or carotid arteries. This stark correlation confirms that this danger is a silent killer hiding in plain sight, fueling countless tragedies that could be prevented with simple interventions. The good news is that an easy, practical change in dietary habits can drastically reduce the formation of these life-threatening clots. Starting each morning with a bowl of oatmeal topped with fresh berries and a handful of walnuts, around 1/2 cup of cooked oats heated to 65 degrees Celsius, and a 1/4 cup of berries and walnuts can act as a powerful anti-inflammatory and plaque-stabilizing strategy. This small switch can lower inflammation markers like C-reactive protein by up to 15% in just 4 weeks, significantly decreasing the likelihood of plaque rupture. Moreover, the fiber in oatmeal binds cholesterol, which clears the bloodstream gradually over 12 to 24 hours, helping to dissolve minor plaques and strengthen weakened arterial walls. The polyphenols in berries combat oxidative stress, reducing the tendency for unstable plaque rupture, while walnuts provide omega-3 fatty acids that can reduce clotting tendencies by approximately 12% over a period of 4 to 6 weeks. The cumulative effect of these dietary adjustments can halt the escalation of damage, preventing the silent buildup from reaching the catastrophic hazard level. Ultimately, adopting this simple, consistent morning routine, using precisely prepared oats at moderate heat, combined with the right quantity of berries and walnuts, can serve as a formidable barrier to this fatal danger. Not only does this strategy improve arterial health, but it also empowers seniors with a straightforward means to take control of their long-term health, stopping the dangerous cycle before it leads to tragedy.